our next guest found a sick swan while hiking in New York City. She did what anyone would do. She picked up the swan, she walked a mile back to a main road, convinced some strangers to give her and the swan a ride in their car to the nearest subway, rode the subway for 20 minutes, then convinced her friends to drive her and the swan another hour to the nearest bird rehab center. Please welcome Ariel Cordova-Rojas. Hi. Hi, Ariel. Okay, I read this story and I immediately called and said, let's book her because I just love what you did. Okay, let's start with, I know you rode your bike, it was your birthday, and tell everybody how you come across the sick swan.
Yeah, so it was the eve of my 30th birthday. I'm an avid naturalist and birder, and I was like, what a better way to celebrate than to take a light hike, do some birding at Jamaica Bay Wildlife Refuge. So I took about a 2-hour trip from El Barrio, where I live, via train and bicycle to get to the refuge. I walked out on the trail and I'm just like looking at the sunset and all the birds swimming in the water and going across. And then I see this lone swan sitting on the edge of the pond in the grass. And I'm like, she's just there for several minutes. And I'm like, this ain't right. Something's wrong with her.
So you go over, and you could tell, because you know about birds, that she didn't try to get away, so you knew something was wrong with her. So then you take your jacket off, and that's the way, and anybody else who wants to capture a swan, you put the jacket over her head to keep her calm, right? And was she calm once you picked her up? And how heavy is that, like 20 pounds?
About. She came in at 17, but you don't really feel the difference. It feels like 20 pounds when walking with her.
Right. So you're walking. Obviously, you can't take your bike. You're walking with this swan. And how was she when you were walking? Did she try to get out of your arms, or she just stayed in your arms?
So this is what is like good about it is she wasn't aggressive. She wasn't trying to bite me. She wasn't trying to wing slap me. But that's also what's wrong with the situation. Swans are territorial and aggressive. So the fact that she wasn't trying to fight me meant that there was something wrong with her and she wasn't feeling good.
Right, okay. So then you rode, you did cars, trains, planes, and automobiles. Okay. So you're on a subway in New York and no one cares. No one was even paying attention that a swan was on the subway with you. Were you worried that you were losing her at any point, or did you think she was gonna make it?
So she was fairly healthy. I just knew that in the future, there would be an issue. So on the outside, she was good, but it was more of all the internal problems going on without her being able to walk, which was the main issue that I noticed. She wouldn't be able to access food.
Right.
If you can't eat,
yeah,
probably not gonna make it too much longer.
Right, so she's now at the Wild Bird Fund in New York City, and we have a live feed going there right now. And let's look at her. She has a boyfriend, apparently. That's her. This is a live feed. So how often do swans meet and get along like that? Isn't that kind of unique?
So to make a love connection, yes, it is. They are monogamous at times, but they also make friends. We've had in the center before up to 5 swans, and that pool can fit 4 swans. And they'll just kind of like relax, but just like people, they have individual personalities and they may not get along. So this was just so lucky. So
she's now, and you named her Bay because of the bay, and this is Pearl, her boyfriend, who was also rescued, and they seem to be, now when they get released, will they go together? Because like you said, they're monogamous. You don't want to separate them now, right?
No, but that's the hope. The main thing with them is we have to get them out as soon as they're healthy. Because the longer they're in the clinic, a stressful environment where they don't have the open space, the outside, they can actually regress in their treatment and they can get worse. So right. The main issue is getting them out when they're ready. And if we can, we'll try as hard as possible to keep them together.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's so sweet that she has a little connection with Pearl. And so they had, it turns out she had lead poisoning. That's what was wrong with her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how did she get lead poisoning? It just in the bay?
Yeah, so with the swans in particular, they're big-bodied animals. They have big necks. They're diving down into the water to get their food. And sometimes they'll pick up things that aren't food, like lead anchors. And over time, those anchors, will leach, the lead in it will leach out into their system and then cause things like leg paresis, which she has, where she's swimming now, which is great, but she couldn't walk. She couldn't move her legs when I picked her up.
Well, she looks, am I looking at, is she in the water or is she outside the water? Which one is she?
So Bay is the one in the water with her wings kind of lifted up and giving that nice little booty shape.
Yeah.
And then Pearl is the one that's standing. They have opposite issues. She can't really use her legs that well. He can't really use his wings as well, although they look much better now. So match made in heaven.
Well, that's so great. All right, we have more with Ariel after this. We'll be right back. Now, how long will Bay be at the rehabilitation center?
So there's no way to know for certain. She's on some antifungal medication. She's on medication to get rid of the lead poisoning, but she's definitely doing better. It could be a few weeks. It could be a few months. It all depends on whenever she can stand and really get good use of her legs again.
Well, as an animal lover, it must make you feel really good knowing that everything that you went through saved the Swan's life. And I have a surprise for you. I have been talking to my friends at Shutterfly. We had this idea about starting a new contest. You will not believe this, but the contest was to find the world's greatest swan rescuer. Yeah, so it's weird because the contest hadn't even started yet, but I think I can officially name you the winner. You are the world's greatest swan rescuer. And because you're the winner, Shutterfly loves celebrating everyday heroes like you. You're also getting $20,000.
Thank you so much.
I think you're amazing.
I think you're amazing.
I think you're amazing. I love people like you who do things like that not knowing that anybody would ever notice it.